The Orthodox Jewish community here are living their everyday lives governed by ancient Jewish laws. There are laws for Sabbath.
Can't put a light on the Sabbath. That's down to mustn't make a fire. On the Sabbath we're not allowed to burn a fire. So this is down to fire. The whole thing, obviously, comparisons we have to make. So we can't drive a car because you're burning combustion.
And even stranger laws for the festival of Passover.
So we're covering everything. We're covering it with tin foil because it lasts longer than paper, especially when it gets wet. And that was a microwave. Yes, it still is a microwave. It's all nicely covered up.
But how can anyone really live like this?
If you're not used to it and you're looking at it from the outside, you think completely barking mad. But it's what we do.
Many of the Jewish laws are prescribed in their Bible, the Torah, and the Beth Din is the organization that provides guidance to the community on how to live by these laws. Today, Dr. John Lieberman, an Orthodox Jewish doctor, is preparing for the ceremony of circumcision.
Is that funny? Torah tells us that at 8 days old, one should circumcise one's male children. It's a very, very fundamental and basic Torah concept to circumcise one's children, one's male children. There are millions of circumcisions done for non-religious reasons, for medical reasons. But this is not what we're talking about. We are talking about here a ritual, religious circumcision. The procedure is a medical procedure, but it is a religious reason why it's done. We're not given a reason why. The Torah tells us that God commanded Abraham when he was 99 years old to circumcise himself and all the members of his household, and he commanded Abraham to circumcise his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, and it is a fundamental law of the Torah. Abraham was told to circumcise Isaac, and that is what we do. 8 days old, as long as the baby's fit, we circumcise the males.
The baby is the grandson of Beth Din kosher slaughterman Danny Shearer, and a senior rabbi from the Beth Din presides at the ceremony.
Place a guard over the top of the penis, so the foreskin is actually through the guard. And then we close that up. And there we have an instrument which will be as sharp as a blade. Once it's over, everyone's very happy. The baby's a fully fledged member of the Jewish race. He's got his sign in his body. He's part of the Jewish people. He's been entered into the covenant of Abraham. It's a very joyous occasion. It's a very emotional occasion. We do them because the Torah tells us to do them. If there are health benefits, well, that's, if you like, a positive side effect. We do them because it's in the Torah, and we're told to do so by God, and therefore we do it.
It may be difficult to people in other societies, but certainly in England we apply in ceremony many customs which the purpose of which does no longer apply. And this is in itself a link, if you like, and a continuation of our past and our history. An Englishman would understand that very, very well indeed, that the reason, the underlying reason behind it does no longer apply. The law nevertheless is still practiced.
But whilst the rabbis interpret the laws, at home how it's put in practice is mainly up to the women.
Situation's getting grave. Last tin of tuna. Fork. Oh, he's filmed in this messy kitchen. Help. Hello, come on. It's very important to feed your animals and look after them. Eee, careful. It's very nice actually. She always comes in. She seems to like Shabbos. Comes in Friday nights when we're making Kiddush. Don't you? And it gives us a chance to do a lot of mitzvahs. A mitzvah is normally translated as a commandment, but it's very difficult to translate Hebrew words and give the full meaning when you just translate it into English. And there's an explanation that it's a combination of two words, which means a commandment, something we're told to do, but also that it makes a connection between us and God each time we do it. It's like making an electrical connection or a string. And we've got 613 of them. There's positive ones and negative ones, doing ones and don't do ones. And we try and do a lot of them. The more you do, the better. And because it strengthens this connection up above.
Right, sandwich. Benji, what do you want for breakfast?
Moaning.
This is my dad, by the way. Sorry?
Right.
An egg. Usually somewhat more chaotic. I think they're a bit tired today, thank God. It's given us the impression that we're a tranquil, wonderful family.
And you're not?
No, we're wonderful, not necessarily tranquil all the time.
Understatement of the century.
Right, that's yours. No, that's yours. Milky? All that is meaty. Only because we eat quite a lot of meat, so hence a bigger meaty side, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a bigger meatier side than a milky side, but you have basically two of everything. 2 cookers to have your eggs on the table. Hobs, cookers, 2 dishwashers. We only have 1 microwave and 1 fridge, although some people do have 2. And it's just to do with keeping milk and meat separately. Dietary laws, don't mix milk and meat. It just makes it more convenient if you have the space.
2 sinks, yes. Look at them. A milky one and a meaty one. Not everybody has 2 cookers, but I do. Some people have 2 little fridges, which is fine. All of it adds to a lot of extra cleaning, of course, which keeps you in the kitchen even more.
If you're not used to it and you're looking at it from the outside, you think completely barking mad. But it's what we do. And when you're used to it, it's just, you don't even think about it. It's just second nature. So it's not particularly inconvenient. Well, not from where I'm standing anyway. Very healthy for you.
I got my spoon. I want to eat away.
Well, go to the toilet.
I want to eat away.
I can see how, I mean, Amanda's really probably the best one to speak to about it, because she's come in as being not Jewish, good Catholic girl, thinking, you know, these people are completely crazy, and having to adapt to the whole, you know, milk and meat thing. I could see how it would seem somewhat bizarre.
Are they completely crazy?
P45 for you!
Unusually for a British Orthodox Jewish woman, Risa Klein has a high-powered job. In conjunction with her husband, she runs a multi-million-pound business.
At the top of this road is our building. Straight head on, smacking you in the face. The business is fundamentally a DIY distribution. This is our little retail sort of arm.
Working here is quite interesting because there's separate kitchens and separate cooking areas, and even though they don't actually use them, they are still there, so there's a big differentiation between what they have and what we have, and you know, that kind of thing.
We are the archetypal Jewish family. We sell DIY products, are very non-Jewish, very